This is Total Telecom TV with Keith Russell of Nokia. Keith, we're here in Brussels and one of the hot topics is fixed wireless access. Why is it such a hot topic and what should operators be doing about it?
Well, it's a good question. You know, fixed wireless access has really become a hot topic in the industry today, and I think part of it is because of the promise of 5G. You know, there's been so much talk about the ability of 5G to drive higher speeds, low latency into the network, and that's true. And for fixed wireless access, it could drive gigabit services to subscribers. But really, 5G is not everything that fixed wireless access has to offer. There's operators that have existing LTE networks, and they can utilize those to drive LTE to the home services, and that's actually a very growing market where we see operators using excess capacity that they have in the network to then offer a fixed service with that capacity. And they're even bundling those services so that they can have a more stickiness and really drive additional revenue from their network. And with LTE to the home, they also have the option of really dedicating bandwidth in the network for fixed subscribers. So if they want to offer a true fixed-like service, they can use LTE for that and really design around specific bandwidth, sustained bandwidth targets that they can offer with LTE. And finally, for operators that really don't have spectrum, there's technologies like 60 gigahertz, 802.11ad, or WiGig. And WiGig gives us the opportunity to drive 1 gigabit services to the home, but without some of the complexity that we have with mobile networks. And so unlicensed spectrum is available for any operator. That means a fixed operator could use it, and they can still drive the same service levels that they're offering with their gigabit network for fiber to subscribers only over a wireless connection.
So do we need fiber?
Well, that's a good question, and it's one that gets asked a lot, actually, in the trade rags and such. And the fact is, yes, we do need fiber. It's probably not a big surprise to people to hear that. But in fact, if you look at fixed wireless access and what's driving it today is the fact that we can offer gigabit services. And with that ability to drive gigabit services, we're actually using higher spectrum to do it. And just like any FTTx technology, that higher spectrum means shorter distance. So what we basically have is a big network that needs to have fiber backhaul. And because of the high speeds and the denser cells that are being built, we need to backhaul it, and fiber networks are absolutely perfect for that. And you know, when we look at fiber networks today, we have GPON today, we have XGS PON, easy upgrade to 10 gig, and then ultimately to 25 gig. And so fiber is really the only technology that's out there that is so easily upgradable, that's a forever network that you build. And the upgrades are just going to make it so that between fiber and fixed wireless access, we really have a combined capability that one needs the other.
So in the fixed wireless area, which is the technology do you think that is best suited to gigabit delivery?
I think that really depends on the operator, because if you're a wireless operator, obviously you're going to focus on those assets that you have today. So I mentioned earlier LTE, they have plans to go to 5G, they own the spectrum in many cases. So if an operator has the 5G spectrum or is planning to get it, they're going to look closely at 5G to the home. Now obviously it's not quite available yet, but it's right on the horizon. And I think when we look at 5G, there are different spectrum utilization that we could look at. I mean, there's millimeter wave has been talked about so much in the marketplace. It can drive very high speeds, but also the early deployments of 5G, we expect them to be in the 3.5 gigahertz range. And in that case, it too can drive a gigabit service. So as operators build out for mobility, they'll still be able to do, much like they do with LTE, a fixed wireless access service over that 5G network. So there are a lot of options there. But then in the case of the WiGig that we mentioned earlier, this is a great technology for operators that are building fiber networks. They build a fiber network out and they'll all agree that there's a certain point, this economic point that they reach, where they're not able to drive the fiber deeper. It's just not economically viable. With fixed wireless access and with the WiGig technology, they're able to just extend that fiber network further. So they use a WiGig drop rather than a fiber drop where it's too costly, but they still offer the same gigabit service to the end subscriber so that they have a ubiquitous service. And I think that's really what this is all about. The mixed technology approach, the fixed wireless access, it complements the deployments that are going on today and gives operators more tools to be able to offer a ubiquitous service so that everybody in the community is able to enjoy the benefits of a gigabit service.
Okay, thank you very much for talking to us.
Sure, thank you.